Welcome to Reality with Kiki. I'm your host, Kiki, and on this channel, we discuss reality TV, celebrity gossip, and viral topics. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you like our content. You can also follow us on our Facebook page. A link will be in the description box below, and we also have it linked in our bio. Okay, so Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So we pretty much start this episode off with them seeing what all the ladies are doing individually in their homes. And we get to Mary, who is calling the ladies, inviting them to an Italian cooking class. So Mary says that she is sending them what she wants them to wear, or I guess what she wants them to mirror. She wants them to mirror Italian streetwear, and because it's simple and chic, and she doesn't really know what the ladies or what goes through their heads sometimes in the fashion choices that they make. So I'm just like, Mary, please, because I think you're a little bit delusional in as far as you believing that you actually have some type of fashion sense, because you be wearing some stuff that is out of this world, like a hot mess. Not to say that the other ladies are necessarily doing it big, but Mary, you are at the bottom of the list. Anyway, we move Mary also says that she's not going to invite Jenny because she doesn't like the way that she spoke to her. She screamed at her, so she will not be in attendance of this event. We move on, and Meredith is at her house. She has like Manny Petty at her house, and she invites Jenny over. So Jenny comes over, and she's telling Jenny about the trip that she's planning. So she's inviting her and inviting the ladies to come and spend some time there. So they get into how, they're doing with their individual relationships that are not doing that well. So she asks, Meredith asks Jenny, has she spoken to Mary since the snow tubing incident? And she's like, no, I didn't speak to her, but, she never apologized that day for attacking me. Jenny, nobody attacked you. You inserted yourself in something that had nothing to do with you. You actually did the attacking. So I'm just highly confused as to where you thought you were attacked and why you think you deserve an apology. And she's going on, because I was really going through a lot that day. That don't have nothing to do with anybody else. I talked about this previously, but it had nothing to do with anybody else. That is your own problem. So Meredith is like, you guys will be able to speak about it at the house when we go on this mini vacay. So you'll deal with it then. So Heather goes out to dinner with her niece's husband, and her daughter. And they pretty much are having a discussion about leaving the church. She's like, supportive of her niece because she more recently decided to leave the church. I think it's interesting, and it's not just Mormonism, but there's other religions as well. It's like pretty much if your family does not also follow this religion, like, you need to disown them. And like when they're in it, right? So they had a discussion about it because when they were in it, like, it made sense to them. But like outside of that, it's like, how does that make sense? If we're supposed to be loving and if God loves all, why would you shun or dismiss your family because they don't follow exactly what you're following? That's something that never made sense to me. But anyways, they pretty much are like, we're moving past that. We taste alcohol. We are trying different things now that they are not being sheltered by their religion. So they show up for the cooking class. Obviously, Mary is first because she's the one who put this together. And Jen shows up, Meredith shows up, and she's telling them how she sends out the invites to everyone except she sent Whitney a different invite since she decided not to answer the phone. So for everybody else, their invitation told them to wear Italian chic. For Whitney, she told her that she needs to come dressed like the Italian mafia, whatever that means. So they go on, and Miri is just like trying to put on this horrible Italian like accent and these horrible Italian pronunciations, and it's just like, just stop. You want to play the part, but you're doing a terrible job. So all of the other ladies start to show up, and Mary is pissed because Whitney didn't play into her Italian mafia attire, and she is just like on 1,000, and it's just like, it's honestly not that serious, Mary. So they get to the cooking class. I don't know, they're making pasta or something. There's tension because Jen keeps cutting her eyes at Lisa. Lisa's not paying attention because Lisa's going to pretend like everything is okay and she didn't do anything. So they finally sit down and they're eating, and Mary is really just like working my nerves this episode because she keeps pressing about this stupid outfit thing when you were trying to make Whitney look like the fool anyway. Like, let it go. It didn't happen. We're here now. Let it go. And she keeps pressing on about her not answering the phone. Girl, nobody's in a relationship with you, right? Like, we might have a relationship as a friend, but you're not my man. You're not my mother. I don't have to respond to you. Are you crazy? So while they're sitting and eating, Jen gets the party started. She asks Lisa, like, oh, how was your kid's event? And she's like, oh, well, actually, it was this, it was that, and it went great. So she's like, okay. And Mary is like, oh, I didn't get invited, but, I'm used to that, Lisa. And then Jen was like, well, don't worry, Mary. I wasn't invited either. And that really hurt my feelings. And so here go Lisa. Oh, my kids put together the list. Jack put together the list. It was about my kids. It's not about you guys. And Jen is like, okay, but just previously, you told me that Whitney sent gifts from her product line to an enemy of mine. You made it seem like this girl is a problem, and then you turn around and you invite her to your event. So she's like, I was trying to extend the olive branch to Whitney. So you just said that your kids created the list. Was it your kids or was it you? Why would you be extending an olive branch to Whitney at this point in time? And this is exactly what I said from last week's episode. This was all meticulous. This was all planned. I knew that Lisa put together that list, and I knew that she was trying to do something sneaky and do something shady because she wants to get back at Whitney. Okay? Because it wouldn't make sense. Why would you invite somebody that you feel like is doing wrong in the friend group to, instead of Jen, who is supposed to be your close friend? That doesn't make sense. So she's like, oh, now everybody wants to pile on me. I'm not doing this. This is about my kids. It's not about Jen. It's not about Meredith. It's not about anybody else. And it's like, no, because the girls were questioning her. Why would you invite Whitney over Jen? Plain and simple, but she don't want to answer it. Now she want to try to act like she's the victim and people are looking for any reason and are not assuming the best about her, when it's just like, literally, Lisa, like, you're trying to act like you mean well, but you don't. And you're being caught out and you're being found out. And every time you are, you get upset. So they're trying to move on from this disagreement and are discussing the trip that Meredith has coming up. So Heather is like, "Oh yeah, I'm helping to plan, and we're gonna do all these fun things, and what have you." So Lisa decides to say to Meredith, "Oh, thank you for inviting Jenny." Right? It was like it was a little shady because Mary decided not to invite Jenny to this little cooking class or whatever, and they pretty much were like telling Mary like, "Oh, everything will be fine." Jen is like, "You know what, Mary, I have your back," and they're having a conversation. So Whitney is like, good. Jen says she has your back. Like she was trying to have a moment with you. That made Mary go up. Okay, now she's turning up on 1,000 because she's still angry about Whitney not answering the phone. I feel like that's what this all is about. So she's like, "You don't need to tell me what to do. And you're a little girl." Whitney's like, "I'm not a little girl, Mary. And I'm a grown woman." And she's like, "No, because I don't need you to tell me what is a moment. I don't need you to help me see that." And blah, 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 blah. It was just a stupid argument. And Whitney, is just like, "You know what? It is what it is." Mary's like, "You can go." She got up. She's like, "I'm done. Like, Mary, I've had your back more than any woman here. Like, I actually love you, but I'm not going to put up with this." She's like tearing up. Like, she really was upset about this. And Mary's like, "Well, act like it." And it's just like, some of a lot of these arguments, a lot of the ways that a lot of these women feel is like misplaced anger, right? So I feel like for Mary, right, her husband slash step grandpa, right, he does not respond to Mary. If he doesn't want to be around her, he will leave. If he don't want to answer the phone, he won't answer the phone because she irritates him. But then she turns and she tries to like force people that she's supposed to have friendships with to do the things that her husband is supposed to be doing, if that makes sense. So like, I'm not understanding why Whitney not answering the phone would make you like blow up so bad that like you're not my friend or you're not acting like a friend because you didn't answer my FaceTime about a cooking class that I'm planning, and you didn't respond the way that I wanted you to about the invitation to said cooking class. Like, it's making my head spin, and it's enough. And also just like, from Mary saying act like it, then it's like nobody has to take verbal abuse from you. Like, I really felt like she was just hammering in on Whitney unnecessarily. Like, in order to for somebody to be your friend, they don't have to take accept abuse from you, and I would move on from you. Like, we just won't be friends then. And I try to be on Mary's side, but she just does too much. She's very weird. She's very quirky. The way that she responds to people is just extreme and bizarre. Like, what is going on? What is going through your head? So Whitney said that she actually did call Mary back 2 hours later, and she didn't answer the phone, but then turned around and sent her a nasty text message. Like, what's wrong with you? And how old are you? She was talking about some of the things that she has said to Whitney in text message, talking about like, "Oh, I'm older than you, but I look younger than you, and this is why you need plastic surgery to look the way you do," and stuff like that. It's like, are you mad? Do you want to look like, I don't? It doesn't compute for me. It's not making sense. And I feel like they tiptoe around Mary a lot and they play it safe. And they shouldn't. Honestly, give her what she gives you. Give her the same energy. Now, Jenny is a different story because Mary did not come after her. But if Mary came after Jenny and then she responded that way, then that would be acceptable. But she didn't. So as Whitney is trying to leave, Meredith talks to her to try to calm her down. And she's just like, "You know what? It's just too much. Like last year when everybody was against Mary and All of these rumors are out against her. Like, I was there defending her. And Meredith goes into how at Lisa's party, one of her old parishioners came up to her and was just giving her this weird story. And she asks Whitney, "Do you know anything about it?" And Whitney is like, "I'm really close with one of her cousins, and he just was telling me, don't ever make Mary mad, and that he and the people of their church believes that Mary has the will and power of God, and this is why they're afraid of her and they don't want to get her angry." And it's just like, that is a stretch. Like, y'all really think Mary has that type of power? Okay. So on the other side, they're trying to calm Mary down, but she's not hearing it and she's not trying to have it. But Meredith is able to convince Whitney to come back to the table. We're just going to finish the dinner, and that's going to be that. So Meredith is just like, can Whitney and Mary, can we just, settle this and be okay? And Mary's like, you didn't even get my side. You just ran over there to console her, basically. And it's just like, is this what this is about, though? Like, first of all, Mary, you are the person who started the issues, right? Like, if Meredith is going to be on the right side of things, it's not going to be your side just because you started all of this, all of it unnecessarily. And Meredith is just like, well, if you want to tell your side, I'm open to listening to it, but you were not trying to hear anything I had to say. You were like blowing me off. And she's like, oh, well, I didn't know that. And she's trying to like change up her energy because she feels like Meredith is supposed to be her friend and she's not on her side. And it's like, this is not what it should be about. If y'all supposed to be a group of friends and y'all supposed to be adults, somebody should be able to tell you, Mary, when you're wrong, but you don't want to hear it. So Whitney is just like, well, Mary, are we friends? I thought that we were friends. Are we friends? And Mary's like, I don't feel like we're friends like that. What? I'm done. I'm on with Whitney on this one because Mary is, she's in another world. Okay, so the ladies are preparing for the trip to Vale, and they meet at Heather's salon to get on the sprinter. The ladies start to show up, and Lisa rubs me the wrong way, but she stayed with a nice jacket. This coat she got on, oh my goodness. Lisa be having some nice stuff, okay? And Jen shows up, and I'm trying to figure out why Jen got these braids in her head. Sis, you look a mess. You look a mess. I don't know why you thought that was a good idea, but yeah. So they are all showing up, getting ready to go. Next thing you know, Jen gets a phone call. And she's like, hey, baby. And then she asks Whitney to turn her mic off. So she goes outside. She's talking on the phone. And she's telling Heather once she's done, I have to go. They're saying Sharif Sr. has some internal bleeding. I have to go. Right? She has like a stoic look on her face. So you can't really read her. And then she gets on the bus and tells the lady, oh, I have to go. So they're all like, oh my God. Oh my God. Are you going to be okay? Is he okay? She's like, I don't know. He has internal bleeding. I have to go and see him. So she takes her things off and they go. They kind of help her put her stuff back in the car so she can leave. So they're all sitting there just like, oh my God, what should we do? Should we cancel the trip? And Jenny is like, I don't think we should cancel. We should just go. Because if it was me and my husband was dying, I would just tell you guys to go and have fun. I'm just like, Jenny, shut up. Okay? Because nobody said that he was dying, first of all. So why would you say something like that? You're so busy trying to be the funny one, trying to be the fun one. Just shut up and read the room. So Jen goes, and next thing you know, the police show up. So we know from outside the show that Jen did get arrested on some scamming stuff with her business. So I don't know if this is connected. I don't know if this is real and Bravo just wants to try to recreate it to create some buzzing some drama around the show, but the police show up and they're looking for Jen. And the girls are like, what? Like, what's going on? So the police are like, is she fine? Is she okay? Heather is like, yes. She just left. Like, what's going on? So now they're starting to put stuff together. And Whitney was like, Jen just asked me to turn her mic off when she went to go answer the phone. So she's now making a connection like this might have something to do with it. So they're like, we don't know what's going on. And that's pretty much where the episode ends. Like, we don't know what's going on. Jen might be on the run. The police won't tell us what they're looking for her for. They just kept saying, we want to make sure she's okay. What kind of car was she in? We just need to talk to her. So, yeah. You guys let me know down in the comments what you thought about this episode. And I will speak to you next time.